Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of CS Cart Vocations add-on. Now this add-on makes it easier for the sellers to notify their customers and admin about their vocation dates. By using this add-on, the seller products will be visible to the buyers along with the seller message that has been set by the seller, and the seller vacation start and the end dates are also visible on the same. And thus the buyers will know that the seller is on vacation and will not be available. Apart from that, the sellers will be able to disable the add to cart button. So if a customer taps on the same, a notification message will be displayed to the customer notifying that the seller is on vacation and the product can't be purchased right now. So in today's video tutorial, I'll be taking you through the workflow of this particular plugin, that's the CS Cart Seller Vocations add-on at the storefront and at the vendor's end and at the admin's end as well. So at the storefront, I'll be showing you the customer's workflow, and then we'll be checking out how the vendors will be able to set up their vacation time period and the vacation message as well, and how they can request the same from the marketplace admin there, and how the admin would then be able to approve or disapprove these seller vacation of the particular vendor there from the admin backend panel of the configuration settings there that are available within the backend panel itself. Apart from that, I'll also be showing you the initial configuration settings for this particular plugin. But before I proceed further with this particular video tutorial, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. And if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. So right now you can see that I'm at the storefront and I'm on one of the vendors there. So here you can see that we have the complete list of vendor products here being listed, and here we have the option to contact the vendor. Just below that we have the seller vacation message that the seller is saying that I'm on the vacation due to some personal work. I'll resume the work shortly. And here we have the date starts, vacation start date and the vacation end date of the seller as well. Now if a customer comes and he can see this particular vacation message and the seller vacation from and to dates on the particular page at the back end and on the product pages of the sellers as well. So here I'm on one of the product pages of the seller itself, and same message is visible here as well to the customers that I'm on vacation due to some personal work and I'll resume the work shortly, and we have the from and to dates of the vacation as well. Now the sellers have the option to disable the add to cart button. So if a customer taps on the same, a notification message will be displayed to the customer notifying that the seller is on vacation and the product can't be purchased right now. So for example, if I go ahead and I tap here on the add to cart button, then we'll be able to see the same message: added the product not added into the cart because the seller is on vacation right now, right? So that's how this particular plugin, that's the CS Cart Seller Vocations add-on, works at the customer front. Now let me take you to the vendor end and let me show you how the vendors would be able to set up their vocations. So for that, I'll be going to the vendor panel and I'll be logging into the vendor panel by entering the email and the password. Now after the successful installation of this particular plugin, the vendors will get one option. Under the vendors, they'll find the seller vacations. So if I go to the seller vacations, they'll find the complete request for the vacations that they have created here, along with the request ID, the company name, need to with the details there or the description for the admin there, the date from and the date to values. We also have this option here: allow add to cart button has been disabled, display return date has been enabled there, and the status is approved. Now this status can be basically moderated by the admin. It depends upon the configuration settings whether you have set the auto approval as yes or no. If auto approval has been set as yes, then all the requests of the seller vocations would be auto approved. Otherwise the admin would have to manually approve these seller vocation requests from the configuration settings of the plugin itself. So I'll be showing you that in a while from now. So how the sellers would be able to request for the seller vocation. For that, they'll have to navigate to vendors, and under that seller vocations, here they have to tap on the create vocation button, and they have to set up the start date, end date of the vacation, whether they want to allow the add to cart button. So if you check this box to allow the products to add to cart when the seller is on vacation, so if you add this option here, if you check this particular option here, then even if the seller is on vacation, the add to cart button would be available and the customers would be able to make a checkout with the products. Otherwise, if you uncheck this option, then the add to cart button would not work, as I've already shown you. Then we have the display return dates. So if you check this option, then the return date would be displayed to the customers on the product pages and on the vendor profile page there. Then we have the message for the store. So whatever message that you have entered here would be visible to the customers, as we have already seen here. The same message that you have entered here there would be visible to the customers on the product pages and on the other page, on the seller's page as well. So if I go to the seller or the vendor page here as well, under the contact vendor, we have the particular details of the content of the particular seller vacation there, along with the start and the end dates of the vacation as well. If I come back to this particular section, then you can enter the reason for vacation for the admin, and the same is visible to the vendor as well and to the admin as well. So if I leave this particular section and go back, here's the here's the particular thing that we were checking out. If we want, we can edit it up as well. So here's the message for the store. The same is visible here on the store, right? And this is need to attend the family function for 3 days, and this is the reason for the vacation for the admin to check. And accordingly, you can also set the vacation messages according to the different store views as well. For example, if you change the store view, then accordingly you can set up the message for the store and the reason for the admin as well, and accordingly the customers can view the particular message for the store in that particular language as well. So this was the vendors and how the vendors would be able to basically view and manage the seller vacations there, and how they can create their vacations by tapping here on the create vacation button, and can view the particular request that they have sent out to the admin there. Now let me take you to the admin backend panel, and let me log into the admin backend panel. So after logging into the admin backend panel, the admin will find the vendors option, and under that he'll find the seller vacations. And if I go to the seller vacations, here we'll find the complete list of vacation requests that have been sent by the marketplace vendors to the admin, and from here the admin can approve or disapprove any of the requests as required, and can view the requests and the details of the request as well, as you can see here within this particular section. So here we have the request ID, the company or the vendor name, the date from and the date to values, whether the allow add to cart button has been enabled or disabled, the display of the return date has been enabled or disabled, and the status here as approved. If you want, you can also disapprove the particular one by tapping here on the disapprove button. Otherwise, if the admin wants, he can also edit the particular seller's vacation request and can make the changes as per the requirement there. Now let me show you the initial configuration settings for this particular plugin. For that, you have to navigate to add-ons, and under that you have to go to manage add-ons, and here you have to search for seller vacation. Or let's search for vacation, and here tap on the settings button, and this brings up this particular section where we have the general settings and the theme settings. Now the theme settings are for this particular box that we are seeing, wherein we see the seller vacation message and the start and the end time of the vacation there. And now if I go back, here's the text color of the vacation in the black color. It's in the black color, as you can see here. Then we have the background color of the vacation. So here we have the blue color, and here if I go back, we have the border color of the vacation box in the black color. So the border color is in the black color, as you can see right now itself. Now coming back to this particular section, let's go to the general settings. Under the general settings, we have two different settings. One is the general one, and one is the reminder mail settings. Now under the general one, we have the seller vacation. So from here you can allow all sellers to apply for vacations if you enable this option. Otherwise the sellers would not be able to apply for the vacations there, so you have to enable this particular option here. Then you have the option to auto approve the sellers or not. Right now we have set it as auto approval, so any of the seller vacation requests would be auto approved there. Otherwise the admin would have to manually approve those requests, as I've already shown you. So let me keep it as checked. Then we also have the option to set the days before the seller apply for vacations. So here you have to enter the number of days before which the seller has to apply for Vocation. We have the email address section. So here you have to enter the email address at which you want to send the seller Vocation request notification. So the admin can enter his own email address. Then we have the reminder mail settings. So here you can set the allow seller to send reminder mails. So the sellers can send the reminder mails on the email that you have entered here. So on the entered email here within this particular section, the sellers can send the reminder email if you have checked this option. Then we have the number of reminders. So here you can enter how many number of times the seller can remind the admin regarding the Vocation request, and you can also set the days gap between the request. So here you have to enter the number of days gap between the seller requests, and then you have to tap here on the save button to save the configuration settings. So yes, that was much about the CS Cart seller Vocations add-on, and I hope it helped you out in understanding the workflow of the same. If you still have any questions, queries, suggestions or requirements, then kindly do reach back to us at support@webkul.com, or you can raise a ticket at webkul.huidesk.com as well. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video and have a great day ahead.